Top of the morning, top of the morning. Top of the top. It was good, man. How's everybody doing, man? Everybody, Oh, man. It's a lot, it's a lot, it's a lot. What's everybody? Hope everybody have a good morning. Everybody's, doing the right thing, staying strong, focused, dedicated, motivated, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things I notice when we look outside our box or outside the world we live in. The world we live in sometimes can be very, very harsh that it feels like people forget about you. When I hear certain situations, some people feel as though they've been forgot about. Like I didn't ever know people thought that way, but I've heard some conversations listening to other people. Then, you know what I mean? Where some people feel as though like, oh, things happened to me and the world didn't care, or the world didn't hear it. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, here's what I found. Shut up, series. Sometimes it opens my eye up to other people's thoughts because the way I think is not the way 8 million or billion people, 8 billion people think. You see what I'm saying? So when I hear other people, it kind of opens my mind up to like, oh man, it's crazy. That's why I'm so big on love because I'm so big on understanding. And it's a lot of things that we go through because we don't understand each other. We don't understand situations. But I think if we love each other enough, because I think love come not only from loving somebody, it's come loving yourself, right? So due to not loving yourself, it's a lot of things you didn't change. So when you're loving to somebody else, you can be understanding to why they haven't changed because you haven't changed a certain situation because you're understanding that the love in yourself, whatever, you know what I mean, So I started understanding that this is taking away. All right, look, all right. This is what gives religion such a high value because when there's no physical help, we start looking for spiritual help, and there's nothing wrong with that because there is something out there that's more higher that needs to be respected because of its existence, and that's understanding. I don't know, but I know something out there, right? A lot of people are going more into religion, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they go to religion not because of the love for it, it's because of the lack of love they have in a physical world, right? So if there's nobody around you physically loving you, then you start loving a spiritual realm. You know what I mean? And that sometimes it's not bad, but where is the love here? Is what's throwing me off. You got 8 billion people, 6.3, 7.7, whatever, but I'm gonna say 8 because that's the max, right? 8 billion people on this planet. You tell me out of 8 billion people, you get more negative than positive. That's a big number, man. That's a high number to say. Oh, out of all these people in the world, these are the only people I can give my examples of, and they're all negative. When you hear all these stories of these different people, it adds on to numbers. So if 7 people and 10 people and 13 people and 21 or 6 all tell me these stories about all these people that might have been negative, it leads on to the 8 billion people, right? So that shows me. But if I actually talk to these people with a loving mind, not a judgment mind, not a with an understanding heart. If I go to the people and I really talk to them, they're not really bad. They're not bad people. They're just programmed, or they're not grateful. They're just hateful. See what I'm saying? So I'm starting to understand. I start just looking at things like, wow, this is crazy. Who is running? And that's why I'm always talking about program. When you build the game only runs how the person created to run. So if I make a game All these objects I put in the game, like what you can buy, what you can't buy, and all this stuff comes in my account, right? So it's a game. I'm making a game that people can play to be involved in. I look at this as a big game that we're playing that we didn't all ask to be involved in. So everybody don't have the characteristics. But even if you want to go deeper than that, you need all type of characters in the game to make the game work. If it was a game full of rich people, then it wouldn't need no homeless people. So now you have a game where there's all characteristics. So you can play the game and you can play the game and that's the sad part about it. A lot of people become more the problem than a solution. That's what I be trying to stay away from. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of things, right? When I see how the world is. Here's what I found from Hinitive. Shut up. When I see how these, a lot of times when I talk about the system and the system and the system, I talk about the system a lot because, like I said, for me, building games, a game only works based on the person designs it. So if I don't put cars in the game, then these cars wouldn't be in it. So when I watch how this world is designed, I've realized it has to be a creator, right? So when I look at, there's two type of creators. There's a worldly creator and there's a spiritual creator. The worldly creator create cars and stuff, banks and stuff like that. That's the worldly creator. The spiritual creator creates testimonies and blessings and faith and all that stuff like that. So when I look at that, it makes me evaluate how this world is ran. And I notice a lot of people only run to religion when the world doesn't work for them. So it's not because they don't, it's like, yo, a lot of people start having love for something outside of this because they don't have no love inside of this. So what happens is they'll start being, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's sad that out of 8 billion people on this planet, you got more examples of negative than positive. So then I started looking at who's controlling this. Because I know, like I said, there's a spiritual person, and then there's a worldly person. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, I know the worldly person, they make presidents, they make politics, they make stuff like that, because that's the thing that control the world. And they got things that control how the seeds grow. You got people that control, you got a thing that control how the weather really moves. You got things that control how the stars line up. So you got two different people that, so a lot of people go to the creator not because of how good the world is. Like, all right, look, if the world was real good and everybody was like real, like right now, they'd have to go to work. Everybody's like this. All right, say you had God right now. He's like, yo, you got to be like nice to people and all this stuff like that and loving all this like that to get into like this kingdom, right? But on earth, you ain't got to really be nice to people. Like, you can have a job. They'll give you $7,000 a week. Everybody get to own the car they want. Only you gotta do is stay to yourself. You ain't gotta mess with nobody. You can talk to people online and stuff, but you really can't like go out there and really help people like you know what I mean? You can't do that. You know what I mean? People would just stick with plan A and go to plan, like they would rather do that than like, because it's sad. I don't know. I don't know. So I feel like people just going to plan B because plan A wasn't good to them. So then I start looking at stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, I respect the person that got everything, but still choose to do what they want. Different, like, all right, when people say, let's say the world was going that way, and we came up and say, you know what, there's something wrong with that. I don't think they should. I think they're programming stuff like that to do. I think they're giving us cars because of all this stuff like that. And then we start thinking for ourselves. Those is the like the black sheeps or the ones that's different or special, you might call it. Because even though the world is going this way, you choose to think for yourself. Those is the ones I call like rare. Because a lot of people don't know how to think for themselves. They do to a certain degree. They let their they let their past make like validation for their like, all right, boom. You didn't learn nothing, you just experienced a lot. So by you experience a lot, that's your information. Now you can't go based on past what you've been through because you didn't learn nothing outside of just your experience. So if you're 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, you don't have no information, you just got mad experience because you lived a long time. So you can't talk about like, unless you was involved in it. But if you talking about like, yo, I want to learn about the car, you couldn't talk about a car because you wasn't a mechanic. You was a boxer or something like that. You didn't learn nothing other. So by you boxing for 40 years, you can't talk about nothing else other than boxing. So you wasn't really, you know what I mean? And some people was born for that. Like, yo, they was born for that. So I ain't knocking that. But that's like the game. I look at it. Like some people are this, some people are that, some people are that, and then you got these people, you got these people, you got the homeless, you got the sports, you got the hunters, you got this, you got this, you got like mad different things. So like, what part are you in this game? And are you part of this because that's how you are, or is because of the game designed you that way? Like being a robot, you like you're a robot, but then you start realizing like, hold on, I'm not a robot. I'm something else. Like they try to make you think you're something, but you're not. That's what I'm saying. Like, do you think for yourself? A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. They don't. They think they do. They had a saying, thinking come from not knowing. A lot of people don't. They don't do. They do. I'm gonna tell you something. They do more of what the world does than what they. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. You think like I'm doing what I want. Yeah, but you doing more of what the world does want. You see what I'm saying? Like that's not what you should be doing. That's what the world do, and you just start doing it in a different way to make it look different, but it's still the same because it's still the world shit. You see what I'm saying? Like it's like a motherfucker trying to change a tire different, but he's still changing your tire. See what I'm saying? Like now I'm gonna do it different, but you still changing the tire. So like, oh, I'm gonna be in the world. I'm gonna do it different, but you're still doing. You know what I mean? So it's just different. It's just different, man. I just look at shit different, man. Look at different. I ain't gonna touch the tire. Ain't touch the shit. If that, I'm talking about that's worldly shit, I ain't touching it. See what I'm saying? That's just something you want to do. That's something. But some people are so. I'm gonna tell you something. I look at myself. Hey, yo, top of the morning, Ron Cross. Top of the morning, goddess. I look at myself sometimes in that aspect because it's a lot of things I know I should be doing. I know what I need to be doing. I know what I want to do. I know the difference. And it's messed up because I can feel it. Like I can feel what I need to do, but then I feel what I want to do. So sometimes you get confused. You know what I mean? You get, you know what I mean? But you know inside. Yo, they used to have commercials of like the little devil on your shoulder and a little God on your shoulder. And it'd be a man like probably smoking cigarettes or crazy like they were doing something negative. And it'd be both sides talking. Now look, you ever notice both of them was there. They both didn't have this, they didn't look different. It was them. It was them. One dressed like it was him, but he was dressed like the devil, and it was him dressed like an angel. So the looks wasn't different. It ain't like it was a totally different person on one shoulder and a totally different. Right? No, it was them. But they played both roles, right? So it's one side of you look just like you and everything, but it don't have the right intentions or don't have the right thoughts. And then you got another side of you that's a good side, got wings and everything, look holy, and they got good thoughts. You know what I mean? What you should do, who you listen to more. That's what we should pay attention to. Who you listen to more, because a lot of us don't listen to nothing. See what I'm saying? We'll just go off what satisfy us, and you got to stop doing that. You got to really start putting your time and effort into what's making you a better person, and start putting your time and effort into satisfying yourself. Because you keep doing that shit, you're gonna be by yourself. Keep trying to satisfy yourself, and you're gonna be by yourself because you're selfish. You have to be more mindful and thoughtful of not only what you want to do, is what you know what I mean is what's right to do. Because then that's going to bring right people, good people around you. You can't expect to be a bad person and attract good people. That shit don't work, man. I ain't got this car though. I'm about to get out this car. I'm about to go upstairs, do what I gotta do. Pow pow, da da pow pow pow. See what I'm saying? But peace and blessings, man. Thank you for coming through. You know what I mean? Hey yo, the world is deep, man. See what I'm saying? It's weird. It's wicked. We got to start being more mindful and understanding because we be falling victim. I'm gonna tell you something real before I go. A lot of good dudes has the most pain. Let me say that again. A lot of good dudes, yo. Good dudes. Yo, let me tell you something real. When you mindful and shit like that, or you conscious or aware or thoughtful, you don't play the world so close. And that's what makes you a good person. Because you have choices and you still choose. That's like we go in the room right now and there's all these females and they might be bad and everything, but they fucked up. Like they have no mind, no shit, don't got no like that. You got some dudes that'll play off the opportunity just to have sex with a pretty female that they not thoughtful or mindful or have them or you know what I mean, aware of what this shit can turn into, what emotions can be attached, what problems come, baby, they all crazy. You don't know. You think about yourself. But when you got another motherfucker that be like, yo, bro, yeah, I'm about to dip though. Yeah, they cool and everything, but I ain't trying. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers are popping perks. Shit, I ain't fucking around. See what I'm saying? You gotta respect a nigga like that. You see what I mean? Like, oh, that nigga, you mean? He has more. He's thinking. You can trust. You can start to me. But I ain't gonna keep going. You know, peace and blessings, man. Thank everybody for coming through, man. You know, love more, judge less, live, love, and learn, man. You see what I'm saying? And you know, the streets ain't made for everybody. That's why they made sidewalks, man. But I'm gonna up here and go get something to eat and get back on my feet. I gotta go to the library too later and get some work on my game and stuff. But peace and blessings, man.